morning. Welcome to Resolute Garage. And I woke up this morning and realized I never closed out anything after that last video. So it's a good reason. But I got a story to tell. The story, it's a good story. It's got some thrill to it and some possibility for something dramatic, but in the end has a good ending. Where I left off was I told you that I had a Prius dead motor, and I had decided that I was gonna replace that motor all by myself. Never even had a desire to do something like that ever, but looked pretty easy, and I was like, well, I'll do it. And I probably said stay tuned at the end of that video, and then I didn't do anything about it. Sorry, I'll try to do better. So the story starts right after that. So I've decided that, I committed, and now it was time to actually spend money. I was going to buy a motor, get it shipped here, borrow a cherry picker from somebody, start that process. I had it in my mind exactly what was needed to happen. So I did. I think probably the very next day I got online. I think I told you in the last video that I found a can't remember what it's called, a mail order engine that they've taken out of it was a used engine that somebody had taken out of something else. And I went onto their website, found the exact one, did a lot of matching, make sure I had the exact right one that I needed. Hit pay, put in my credit card, and my credit card, at the top immediately said transaction rejected, something like that. Like it wouldn't go through, like my card didn't have enough money on it. Insufficient funds, maybe that's what it was. And I'm like, well, that's not right. I got great credit. I don't know what my credit line is, but it's enough to buy what I thought was a $1,500 engine. And so I'm like, well, that's not right. I'm sure I fat fingered it somehow, or maybe they don't take Discover. I was trying to use Discover. I couldn't tell on their website. Anyway, so I pull out my other credit card, MasterCard, Visa, I can't remember which one it is, and I try that one, and it says the exact same thing. I'm like, okay, well, so I'm in IT, so in my mind their credit card system is down or something like that. It's just not working. It's not my fault. Well, right about that time I get a text from my wife saying, do you know a company called whatever the company was? And I replied and said, yeah, that's the company I just tried to buy an engine from. And she said, how much is the engine? And I said, I think it was after delivery and all that stuff, it was going to be like $1,800, something like that. And she said, so it's not $65,000? And I said, no. And she said, okay, I'll reject this message I got from Discover saying, do you want to approve this transaction? And I went, what? I said, yes, please do. I will call them. And so she did. And then a little while later, she got another one from the other credit card for $65,000 for what they said was a $1,500 engine. So I'm like, I'm calling this place. And so I do, and somebody answers, and I said, hi, my name is Steve, and they immediately hang up. And I try again, and nobody ever answers. I tried for 2 or 3 other days, nobody ever answered that phone. They probably got caller ID and said, okay, hey, anybody called? Don't answer it. And so I almost got scammed out of $65,000. I could buy 3 Priuses for $65,000. So just told the internet, all 10 of y'all that are watching these videos, that I was excited and gonna actually overhaul a Prius engine and get it put in, and that was gonna be fun. What do I do? So I went back to Facebook, and I remembered that I had talked to a guy to buy the Prius because he had a dead end, he had a used extra engine that he would put in it and then flip the car and, you know, sell it for more than he had in his Prius. It had a dead engine. So anyway, and so I messaged him and said, how much will you sell me your engine for? And he said, well, I'll give it to you for $2,000. And I thought, well, that's not much more than I was going to get it from the scam place. So like, well, okay. Let me think about it. So I did for a bit. Hollered back at him and said, okay. He lives not very close to me, you know, like 3 hours away. And like, so how do I come get this engine? And he's like, well, you know, I can bring it to you. And I'm like, bring it to me? He's like, well, I come down towards your place every once in a while. How fast do you need it? And I told him I was not really in a super hurry. And then his next message was like, well, you know what? I can just put it in for you. And I said, well, you know, I was going through in my mind, I kind of wanted to do it and figure it out, you know, probably the easiest engine swap I'll ever do, according to the internet. And he said, no, I do this all the time. I mean, I won't even charge you. Like, you know, like, so we're back and forth for quite a bit for him trying to explain to me how that makes sense for him to sell me an engine, and he would just put it in for me, and he would come down to my house and get the Prius on a trailer and take it back to his place to do the work, and he's not going to charge me for that? I still don't quite understand it. He must have paid nothing for that engine, or for the whatever he's got going. He must have no money in here to make $2,000 his total income for this effort of work. But that's what we did. Dude, he came down 3 hours away in this big old, like, I don't know, beat up dump truck looking truck, pulling a trailer that the fender was falling off of the side because he lent it to his brother. He could barely keep his pants up. Super great guy. He's country as all get out. Made my wife laugh at him. He came down to my driveway, picked this thing up, took it home. He found a couple things wrong with it when he had to put it in, had to get a new water pump, and, you know, just a couple things. And I'm like, I'm paying for those things. He's like, oh yeah, that's not part of my regular, you know, offer to the engine, but anything extra, I'm gonna charge you for it. I'm like, please do, because at this point, I'm feeling guilty. I think I'm scamming this guy. I'm getting an engine with the labor for way less than probably what I would have spent. Anyway, he calls a week or so later, like, it's ready, come get it. And I said, well, here I come. And he's like, no, you don't have to come all the way, I'll meet you halfway. He puts it on the trailer again and brings it halfway to me. So I grabbed my son, we road trip it up there, hour and a half away, and meet him in the parking lot of a gas station in the same big old truck, and he offloads that thing and we drive it home. It's been great ever since. What? I still don't know how all that happened. Completely lucked into all of that. Super thankful. Anyway, there you go. End of the story. It's driving great. Actually, it's got some air conditioner problems, but that's not related to the engine at all in a Prius. Go figure. So there you go. Update delivered. I can move on to the next one. Okay, thanks for watching. Have a great day. See you later.